Hello, good morning everyone.
Good morning.
Today we talk about the pie we got, I think last year, right?
Yep. This is the one that we grafted.
This is the one we got, this part right here. They a little bit long. Now we try to reduce it. We got two of them right here. Go around, we got one right here and one right here. I think two, right? Two of them successful. Then now after a year, for the next month about March or April, we reduce them. We'll let them go to candle. When they go to candle out, we can reduce them down. So when I reduce everything in the bottom, I remove them all. Everything on the side, I leave some of them for left side, some of them for the right side, the full lip only. Then the candle, I remove them. Then they shoot out for the left and right side. Anyone have any questions before we go to the next one? Yes.
That part you're leaving, that's part of the old tree. You're still wanting to leave that for a reason?
The reason we leave this one higher because we want this one to go faster, but bigger. And you cut them down, they go slower.
So like this part here you were just talking about. This is the graph?
Yeah, you can remove it from here.
Oh, okay.
You can remove from here, so this one to go right here.
When can I remove that?
You can remove like next couple months before May. Before May. When they little warmer, you cut right here. You cut right here, remove all the bottom, leave some of the left and right. And the candle, they come up here, they remove the candle and they shoot on the part. Because I do example, one on the brand and one on the trunk. So because from here too long, so we got one right here, we have the branch. And also this one too long, we shorter branch, so we can grab right here. Most of the pie in my house, I grab any time.
For the grafts that you put on, do you cut the candles on those this year?
Yeah.
You say remove candles. Do you remove all the candles, the small one, the big one?
Remove the most of the bigger one.
The bigger one.
And the small one, we remove the foliage, so make them stronger. Yes, sir.
So the candles that you remove, do you put them in your refrigerator? Can you keep them for a while so you can use them in the future for future grafting?
Yeah, yes, you can keep in the refrigerator for about 30 days. Wrap with the moisture paper towel, then you wrap with the plastic and leave in the refrigerator for 30 days. About 2 in, 3 in, yes, you can keep it.
You graph candles in June?
Depend on the tree.
So I asked,
In that time, you have the candle, don't grab that. If you have candle, that means the tree is strong.
Right.
Yes, you can grab that.
so when you were saying we can cut those candles off and put them in the refrigerator for 30 days?
30 days, at least, yeah.
So if we're close to June, could we use those same candles?
For example, next month you already have candle, but you don't want to grab, you can remove the candle. It's safe for next 30 days.
I mean,
But when late at May, that little bit late for grafting.
okay.
Yeah, remove them.
But if I had another pine that I could use those candles? I could
Yeah, you
use
can
that?
do that one.
Okay, thanks.
So by that way, you grafting, you can change from black pie to cook pie or cocoa pie to any kind of the pie. As long as they are family, so you can change it. Because the good thing about grafting, every time you graft the candle, you can design to left, right, or a little bit higher or lower. Even you grab in the body too. About that big, yes, you can grab in the body. But we don't use the knife, we use the cheeses. Yeah, because the knife they can cut wider. The chisel it's narrow down.
Can you come back and show us how to do a chisel graft?
Yes. Usually I do this one. This one I bought from wood craft. I sell this one about $40 because some of the trunk is bigger than that. When I do it, I can do this one. So they're narrow. But if you do the knife, they're wider. Yeah. So this one we can do. You can do this one for the big branch and the big trunk.
Because the bark is,
Yeah, it's big.
how far?
You can remove a little bit and then use it just by hand. You have to cheese it. Just put a little bit.
Hey, Tom, how long did you leave the tape on the last graft?
Okay, on the pie when you see because we wrapped the raffia, right?
Yeah.
When you see the fluid, they go straight, they peel off the little bit about the top of the paraffin, then you can remove them.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is just a quick follow-up. I'll have this tree again to follow later to see. So the idea is, right, the grafts have taken, they've extended out, but we need now growth closer to the graft union site. And so what he's saying is, we're going to be taking off the tip of the candle. We're going to be reducing needles so that the needles that then bud are the ones that we want. And we want them as close to that graft union site as possible because as we know now, right, like we want bifurcation as close to the trunk to start as possible so you can get the proper ramification growing out that's proportional to the trunk size. So that's what's going on here.
Yeah.
It takes a while. Like pine, there's a reason why, everyone hates pines is they take forever. But this is part of the process, right? His success rate on this, I don't think any of the grafts failed, right? So you have 100% success rate, which is like pretty good. And so now, all right, we can get the Scions grafted. Now we need to be able to use the Scions, and that's the next step, which is to push everything in. So.
When you do the bonsai, it's two bad things you have to need to know is know how to grafting, how to bending the tree, and how to aerate the tree. If you know how that, it doesn't matter how tall, how big, how wide, you can reduce them down. Then you have nice tree.
When would you get more aggressive with your fertilization? And what type of fertilizer would you be using when you're doing this?
Everybody can do the different one, but I see they sell over there, that kind of fertilizer is very good for most of the tree. Yeah.
Like osmocote apex.
Yeah, apricot is very good. I don't use the too expensive tree because I have so many.
Yeah.
And
But when do you start fertilizing them?
usually early spring.
Okay.
Yeah, the end of this month or early next month should be good.
And do you use a high nitrogen fertilizer at that point, or do you use kind of a more balanced?
Depend how you go. If you want to go bigger, you can do the different number, or you go just fully only, you can do different. Or the flower, you can see all kind of different number of the fertilizer. But the tree on the pot, yes, definitely they need the fertilizer. Yeah.
Okay.
For healthy tree.
When you say reduce the needles on the grafted Scion, does that mean removing the needles closest to the trunk?
No, you want those needles. What it is so say this is where the trunk is, an extension comes out. You want to get rid of these needles out at the ends because it then pushes the energy back into.
So leave the end of the branch with no leaves.
So exactly what he was saying to do is take off the tip of the candle. You have all these. You then want to take off needles from the bottom and from the top so that the tree only puts resources into the side needles, and then you can then choose which ones because you've limited the space.
Remove all the needles from the
Correct.
second half, and then as soon as the candles come out, pop those off also.
Yeah, so like
This is a good example.
this is a good one right here. So this is one of the grafts. We would take off the tip here. We would take off all the bottom needles and all the tops so that it's only this and only these. These are the needles left. To then, we'll push new buds, we'll then push new candles, and we can keep doing that process to push it back in, right? And once you get growth, you know, what you want is growth in here, like where this needle is, but this one's on top, so it's not ideal.
Are you expecting the new candles to be on the sides?
Yes.
Yeah, they will.
Yes.
They will.
Thank you.
At my house, I have a lot of pine at my house. Most of the tree is I go up like this because the big trunk you never have the small, but they're inside they're getting long. So if you want to nice black pine, definitely you go from small one for many years, or you have to go up. That's the only way you do it. But other than that, sometimes you're lucky on this brand, but on the other brand not lucky, so you have to go up again. So if you know the technique how to go up, you can do a lot of tree, a lot of things you want. Even when I go up here, I need the brand on this side, I can go up for that side. Or I need a brand on this side, I can go up. Every time when you go up the tree, you design them a little bit left, right, or front, or higher, or lower. It's very good technique to do it because they are so simple. You know. If you don't try it, you never. But yes.
I just wanted to know if there's there are photographs from the earlier days. It would be great to see each time you come in a booklet or something, so you can see what it looked like last year. I wasn't here.
This one right here. This one right here. See the brand here from here to here too long. We have only top here. Compare the trunk here. This one too long. The brand too long. So last year I grabbed this one to reduce them shorter. And also from here to here, you can see too long. We don't have any brand between them. So I grab one over here so we can have the left one. So every time you grab it, even this one is simple to get backward. Usually they get this way, but we try to grab this way. So either way they still work good. But depend on how you design the branch on the tree. This one from inside out, but this one we reverse that to the branch to the right. Usually we go from this way, but now we try the opposite way, still work. This is a good example.
That's going to be the new apex, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
new way.
Yes.
So every time when you grab it, you can design it where the branch you want. Left, right, front, rear, whatever. So if you know how to grab, you can design the tree right at the time you grab it. This is a very good technique to learn. Nothing secret about it. This one just a technique. So everybody have different idea, but as long as we know how to work on the technique. The skill depends on the people, but the technique is very simple here.
We have this, where he originally grafted this tree, we have this on our YouTube page. If you want to check it out to review it, to understand why he put the grafts where he did. So a lot of this is about, you know, this is the whole point of grafting. This point right here is this is too long and it doesn't mesh with the thickness of this trunk down here. So we have to now create taper naturally, right? And so what he's doing is, the beautiful thing about grafting is all you're doing is shopping for trunks, right? Because that's the hardest thing to fix. That's the hardest thing to grow. That's the hardest thing to get. Once you have the trunk, through your technique, grafting, you can then create the trees by plugging in the branches in the locations that you want it to be. This is great for pines, especially great for junipers, approach grafts, thread grafts, things like that on deciduous works beautiful as well. It accelerates your process from start to finish, and you can decide based on the trunk what you want to do as the artist.
Okay, this is they call it Nana juniper, one of the very famous juniper can do Shohin or small bonsai. This tree here is, they have a lot of movement. The fully tight, small, the color look good. But everything look good, they still have some problem on them. The problem on this color tree, most the brand upper here bigger than the low brand here. That's the problem of this type of the tree. The second thing is, you see the trunk from the up to the bottom, basically same size. They not much like all the one at the tip. So this kind of tree, they have two different problems. Everything is good. When you see the problem, you can fix the problem. But the beauty of this tree, like I said, it's small leaf, the color look good, a lot of movement, easy to survive, that's good. A lot of people, they do this one for bonsai. But the problem is, the upper here, most of the brand upper, bigger than the bottom. That's the problem. When we see the problem, we know the problem, we can fix the problem. The second thing is, most the trunk from up and down is the same size. That's two big problems on this tree. If we know that, yes, we can fix it from beginning. So this one right here, I don't know, the owner, I don't know what they do, but if they want I do it, I will remove the brand I don't like it. I keep some of the brand I like it, so I build them up. So most of them, the big one over here, we have to remove them. Because we keep some of the too small right here, then open out, the more sun come in, the more air come in, they're getting bigger. But the big one over here, we remove it. Later on, we do the small one up here. So the low branch have to be bigger branch.
Yeah.
And
Don't be
front
afraid to cut. Go ahead, start. You don't have to worry about him. If you need to you say
Thank you.
It's up, you can show us.
Okay.
From start to
So-
finish what you would do.
No tree here, you see, very nice movement in the bottom. Yes, this we can keep some of them. But here is showing what we can do. So too many brand here, so I will remove some of the brand here to see. First brand, when the tree, you see the tree right here, is you choose the first branch, how high the first branch is. After that, we choose the second branch, then we keep removing. But the bigger one over here, we definitely have to remove it. Then the owner, he wants tall band, like Bonsai or small tree, they all different we design today. But one thing is big, like Bonsai style or a lot of movement or whatever, we can try. We have 4 over here. I try to do it 4 different times, if we have time. How about that? So, first thing, I remove this one. You see a lot of brand over here. The Nike. I try to look through this on the front so you can see the movement on this side. See, this is the front. Before you do anything, chew the front is very important. Everything in the world, they have the front and back and side. So the tree do the same thing. We chew the front first. Then we chew the side, left, right, up, high, low, or cascade, whatever you choose. That is second. The third one is chew the first branch. Then follow up to the okay. So I choose this side at the front. I remove all the low one is small. I want you to try to make this one, see what happens. See the one low here, they small, and then this one is smaller than this one, so I remove this one.
I was wondering, so when you're starting all of this, do you already have a style in mind of what you're going to do?
Yeah, usually we try something. We have 4 trees here. I try different. The mortar half we try to do. This one here, they very much straight here. 2 things you can do is you can do the small tree like this, or you can bend them to more movement that way. Because they follow that, we need them. They move it back, so we try to bend, see what happens. Usually when we bend the tree, just like the vehicle, when the vehicle they have the accident, they put up the vehicle on the frame to tie the vehicle, then you can fold it. Same thing like that. When in my house, I put on a container, like we have the container here, then I can fold it. That much easier than this. This one, they don't have the support. If you put on container wood block, then you can tie left, right, front, rear. It's much easier.
Have you determined the height of your tree, you yourself, on what you see on the bari, on the trunk, down below?
We do 2 different ways. If you design like the Bonsai, it can be higher. As you do the small one, like so it can be reduced lower.
What are you visualizing for there?
Because here too straight, I want to say it how to bend this one. To see some of the tree like that, see what you can do. If you live like that, for many years the tree look the same. Even the branch look good, but the trunk is not look good anyway. So we try the best we can to do here. If you want to do small, you cut from here, you grab something here, yes, the tree is small. But we try to do different things on this kind of tree.
Tom, as you're going up there, are you choosing, like you said, left, right, as you go up and clean things out?
Before I do that, I try to clear everything in the bottom. So you can see more choice. You can make more choice on first, second. See, I remove everything in the bottom. So when you move the tree to right side, then the first branch is go this way is better. So by that way, I leave some of them. I will remove some of them here, but I'm not remove right now because when I bend this way, we don't want the branch right on the curve, so you cannot see it. So you move to the left. So the upper branch here is too big. Branch here, I will remove it later. But first thing, I try to wrap this on and we bend this one. Okay. Because right now, this one, they don't support very hard to bend. When I put on the wood block, yes, tighten down, it's much easier to bend. Much easier. Because right now, as you can see the tree like that. In my house, I have a lot of big trees, but I put on the wood block that I can frame them. I frame it 2x4 or 4x4, or 2x1. Whatever frame, then we can full left, right, front, rear, much easier than on this kind of. They don't have support because they have the angle tight. Then you can bend it, but this one is not. Even they small, but very difficult to bend. Very difficult. But we try, see what happens. I see a lot of the tree before we bend it. We have to know is the water to bend, water to keep for like a couple of years to go. If not water, we don't do it. You know. But today we just say the technique only. Because we bend, I bend a lot of big tree at home, but because I think to me they wanted to bend. Some of them after I bend it, I don't know what to do with them.
So were you saying that about watering before you bend, or is it better to water the tree and have it full of water, or is it better to let it go dry a few days before?
Yes, the best time to bend is early, late of the winter time, early of spring, because it have a lot of moisture and the temperature will go down. And after I bend it, I put on the shade. They don't have a sun.
So what about watering it though? Would you go a few days without water before you bend it? Or would you make sure it's really hydrated before you bend it?
Better water. Here, Matt ready a lot of raffia. Most people, before I did same thing, they wrap with the raffia. The raffia with the water, the hold is on tight, they bend, even they crack a little bit, but they keep the moisture. Raffia is very good, but last 10 years I don't use the raffia because the reason I don't use it because raffia they hard to wrap. They keep the moisture not too long, so I use this kind of they call the towel. One towel is about that big, but this long. I cut by 3 pieces or 2 pieces, depend on how. This one they keep moisture much longer than raffia. After you water, this one can keep for you the moisture a week or 2 weeks. And also for another next couple of years, when you remove it, you can rework it. But raffia, maximum for 6 months they tear down. So I do this one. The reason I like it is you see they strong, they're very, very strong. So you can try it around it. After we write it. It's stronger than wrap. It lasts longer than wrap. Easy to wrap the tree.
What is it made out of?
They call the white pole. Let's see, I have the picture here. I will say it.
You want to sew the box?
Like a shop.
That box, yeah, yes. A shop towel?
Yeah.
Like muslin? Is it like muslin?
The reason I do this one is easier than raffia. When I wrap them up, and this one, I put the water here for 2 months. They still keep the moisture. But raffia is good too. But so the reason I wrap this one is to keep the moisture longer, easy to wrap, and also a little bit cheaper too.
Is that cotton fabric?
Something like that, similar to that, but as you can see on the picture of my wife said the wiper.
It looks like fabric.
You can tie as much you can to wrap it because this one you see that they are moisture. See, easy to wrap than raffia, much easier. The main thing is they work and they cheap and they easier. That's the main thing. And also you can rework that. This kind of technique is very good. When I do to bend this kind of technique, I wrap this one with a live band and the dead wood together. When the dead wood, they have the moisture, they're much sharper. They're not breaking. But when I do at home like that, I wrap like this one, right? Then I leave about, depend on the tree, from 2 days to 4 days under the mist. So the water is stuck inside, make the tree much sharper, easier. Even they have the moisture, even the cracker, but the moisture make the tree still survive. So by the end like this, I do the tie wrap to tighten. But the tie wrap is they tie better and easier. That's how the first step we do that. The second step, some of them, the big one or small one, doesn't matter. I try to put 2 or 3 of the, even copper or aluminum, it depends on what you want. But I try 2, 3 small ones. When I follow the drum, then I tie with the electrical tape. The reason I do the electrical tape, I tie them because everything is tied together. Also, to keep the moisture inside.
You wrap the white ball towel the same direction you're going to run your wire?
Yes, same direction. So you can use, I recommend use many of the small one better than 1 or 2 big one. Like when you see the electrical wire, right? When you see a lot of small one, it's more flexible than the 1 or 2 big one. So I recommend is small size, but 2 or 3, 4, better than 1 big one. Hard to bend, very hard to bend, and also they can easy crack too. But if you put too many small ones, just like electrical, when you see a lot of small one inside the electrical, is more softer, easier to bend.
Are you using aluminum?
You can use either way, but I think aluminum is good. Yes.
Is there a problem of mildew or mold if you're trying to keep so much moisture in, and then if you've got the electrical tape that's helping keep even more moisture in, and then if you perhaps do get a crack, is there a problem with fungal growth or that you've experienced?
So far, I don't have a problem. Sometimes when they do the weather, they have the root come out too. Sometimes the root they come out everywhere around. Sometimes, but if you give the foliage, like you take a shower, like you water a lot of trees, it's very much the fungus they have to move out. Or sometimes you do the insect, then as long as you do outside and inside, they will be okay. So this one I follow them. I do 2, 3 of them together. Everything I do today is just based on a sample only. So everyone can see the. At my house, I like to bend the bigger branch with the dead wood. As you can see, more exciting, but we share today is the technique only, not on the tree. I do the same thing. I do the tie wrap to tighten down together. Got the tie wrap, the whole very tight and fast, and cheaper than we take by the aluminum and copper. After I do like this one, you can do 3, 4, 5, depend on how you want the flexible. Then I do the electrical tape. When I do electrical tape here is I do the reverb out. The reason I do that one because it's not stick on this one, and so easy to take it out when you remove it easier. So I do like this. You see the reverb tape out. When you do that, later on you remove it much easier. The tape will not stick on the towel. Because someday the towel will can try when you remove it very hard. And when you reverb this one, when you remove much easier.
Could you use nursery tape instead of electrical tape?
I recommend the electrical tape. The reason they much more strong
The nursery tape?
than the nursery tape, and also this one here, and they can have little bit stick in the back and together.
I see.
Tom, over here.
Since you use the zip ties and putting the electrical tape around the trunk, does that resist the trunk growing? Because one of the goals I assume is to make it thicker.
You can take this one even in 2 years, keep it down, the trunk is still getting bigger. Because the reason this one, the tape here, they still shred out, they flex. They not, because we did not tie by copper or aluminum. We use the tape and we use the zip tie, so that means they still flex, they still go. After 2 years later, when you remove this one, the paper here you can reuse. They better than the wrap, better than anything. You can see later on, I will show you a little bit between the wrap, the branch over here, we leave them open. So every time you mix it or you water, the water they go over here, they keep running down. So the wrap keep moisture for long, long, long time. Then they will flex.
Normally when you sort of wrapped a big branch or trunk with wire, you have to worry when you're bending about sort of rolling with the wire so that you maintain, a tightening rather than a loosening motion.
Yes.
Do you find that when you've done like a set of spines like this, you get more degrees of freedom in how you can bend it, or is there still like a compression, stretching concern with these wires?
Later on, after we do this one, and we do one more thing like the wire trunk. why the chuông just like why the brands. When you want the brand, they move to this way and they have to go like this. When you want to go all the way, they have to go like that. Same thing on the chuông. So we have this one. We want this back here and back. They have to start from the bigger one, other side or this side. Because every time when you bend it, the wire they get tighter, and then not squawk. I will say a little bit tactic that later.
So Tom, is there a reason you're using light-colored electrical tape versus the more common black?
No, doesn't matter. But I have the yellow one. I do. Because the reason this one is very much same color, so the people more see than the black one. But you can see the black.
I like yellow better anyway.
Yes.
Will it grow mold if you keep the tape on it for so long?
You can keep, at my house I keep about 2 years, they don't have any problem now.
I have a question. Are you still planning to wrap wire like over the tape? Or is the wire that you're using all the wire that you're going to use?
Usually I do the wire here a little bit longer. I wrap outside longer here so I can bend some of the bread right here. Because they tight from inside, they already been angled from inside. So we do this one, we bend some of the bread. Easy.
So no more wire is going to be added to the trunk part right now?
After this we do some more wire.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
the reason we do a wire is they get everything more tight together. And also the direction left and right you want to. The way you wear, just like you wear the branch. Now you wear the chuông. So you can bend this way and you can tie this one. If you want this one go all the way, then you tie the other one.
what is the benefit of those two wires just kind of going alongside the trunk? What is that adding?
Two small one or 3 or 4 is better than only one big one. Because they're more flexible. They're more tight together. If I put 2 more, they go more around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're more tight around. Even the bread they crack it, but the wire they hold tight all together. That's why I recommend is put more small one better than one big one. So same thing, the end of them I do the basically zip tie. Because the zip tie I love that because the tie is easier. Now we do one more step. We do the wire, 2 wire around the trunk, then we can bend it. So this one here, this is the front because we see the curve here. When they move this way, I want to move it back, so I follow and I bend this one. The more I bend it this way, the more the wire they tight into the trunk. So I do this one, I do maybe two of them. This one a little bit small, that one a little bit too big. So I cut this one, have narrow this one. Okay, I put right down here. So I tie this way, that means later on I will bend this way. Keep asking a lot of questions you need to ask.
So I'm almost curious what size wire you're using at the moment?
I think this one about 3.5 or 4.
Is that also aluminum wire or is that copper?
Aluminum.
The wires that you use inside the tank, sort of your spine, were those smaller than 3.5, or those more like 2.5, or are they also this size?
You can do all different size. I wish someday I can bend some big band in my house so everyone can come and demo that one. Is much more easy for me.
You're going to be bending trees at Bonsai-a-thon?
I don't have the tree yet, so I think maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Last year you got some.
So basically, before we bend anything, step by step, we do it like this. Like I said, if this one, the wood block, or this one can tighten down everything here, then I can tie. But right now, very much. So, you have to do this one.
You need a second set of hands?
Yes. If we put on the wood block, we tie them down everything, then we can bend much easier.
Do you need some help right now?
Yes.
Okay.
I need two young men. And also I designed this one similar. They have to hold the joint. Yeah, like that. I'm sure you have one. Let's see.
Okay.
I can do remove it. See?
Tom, what is this tool that you're using?
This tool here basically is same tool like small one. You guys can see that on the market, right? But this one I make by the stainless steel. I do by myself. I make about 4 or 5 of them. Some of them longer arm, some of them a little bigger, so we can bend it. I tie them down and I use the second one to bend all the way. So. Because I love to bend the tree. This is the standard size. Most of them are bigger.
That's a standard size.
Because the small bend, we don't need to bend, but the talking about like this, yes, we have to bend. So this is standard size.
Do you use that in your auto body shop?
Yeah. I do have the body shop before, so I design all different. Okay, we have curve here, right? You did curve here, then, and it's up right here. See how flat it is? Okay, in my house, I tie this down to hold us on. Then we pull this up. Okay. Yeah, right here.
I don't hear any cracking.
Even the cracker, be quiet. So, now I show somebody a little bit here. You see a little bit bend right here. Everyone can see that because they're more flat right now. For example, I bend this down. You see it's tight, but when I bend it down, I need something to hold this one. So I have to tie here. If I have the wood box, I have to tie here, then remove the other one. This is the small one. Very simple, but I try the best I can to. Yeah, this one better. See that? And also when you bend the tree, you bend and twist them, you mark your can. Just like my hand, when I put in my bag, if I do straight, I can't bend my hand. But if I twist my hand, yes, my hand can go all the way to the back. Same thing on the tree. So the more you twist it, the more they can move. But if I move the straight my hand, no, I can't reach my back. But if when I twist it, yes, I can. Same thing on the tree. When I want to go, I pick this one. The more you twist it, the more you can bend. Because we follow this one, the guideline. But if it bend like that, the tree, yeah, they okay, but not look good. But the more you twist, the more you can bend. They can stay there. Because all the wire here, they keep the position. If we don't do everything like that, we cannot bend it. They crack it. See? Because we already have the tape, we have the guide wire, we have everything inside. So the more you bend like this, is better. That's the branch up here. Okay. This, for example, we do, but we can do lower. Let I show you. We can do lower. Thank you, gentlemen. This is the small we can do by hand, but in my house, usually I do this one. The reason I do this one is I can control very much, about 99%. But I do not only what I do, but 5 or 6 to different angle, different high, low. So they stay there. After I do this one 2-3 times and all the side 2-3 times, they keep going down. After they go down, right? I use the guide wire to hold them. Same thing like that. If I use the guide wire too low, hold them down, they will stay.
So Tom, while you were bending that, I think we heard, a couple of quiet cracks and pops, which obviously weren't a concern. What would you have to hear to think, okay, this tree's gone as far as it's going to go? What's your sign to stop pushing?
What is the command?
I don't know.
What is this blocks?
This one I can do the guide wire. Do this one to tie them down. As much as we can. This one we can tie over here. This one, because this one they very much they move, so I have to tie it down first. Then we can do the zip tie to change the angle, so it is see more twist that way. the zip tie, they have all different size, the big one, small one, the long one. So you can choose all the, depend on what you like.
Tom,
Yes.
how big of a tree have you bent?
I went in my house, some of them are that big, yeah. And this one is normal, this side, but a little big time, we need more time. But you wrap it up, you mix about 2 days, then the moisture is stuck inside, much softer. Then I do this one. This kind of wire here, the zip tie here, this one 900 pounds. And we have some of them like 3,000 pounds. So you just tie them down. But as long as you keep the tree strong, then you can tie them. You tie a little bit this side, a little bit that side, a little bit low. You keep about 3-4 sides, then they slide down. When they stay down, then you can do the guide wire to hold the tree. Same thing here.
So when you're bending big trees like that, you do that over a few days?
Yes, sir.
Or a week or something?
Usually about 2-3 days.
Okay. Yeah.
But if I repair first, I can do it the same day. Yeah. Like we wrap this one, then we put on the mist about 3-4 days, then I can work on it 1 day.
Okay.
So I sew the tree right here, make sure they hold tight to the pot as much as I can. And this I have to push it down a little bit. Put this down a little bit.
So Tom, you're using the zip ties as your guide
Yes.
wire?
Put this up, put it like that, similar like that. For example, we do the zip tie it up, then now I do this up to this way. The reason I do the copper here, so I can tie them down in the wire. Without this, it can have different thing to hold it. Okay, similar like that. Then you can do and now you can do this one. Tie it much you can. See how they move it. And this one, same thing, right here. You can tie a little bit, they go keep going down. Like that. Then all the wire here, we want this branch to be the apex right here. Then all the branches lay down. That's how we bend the tree. But this is just an example. But if you more focus on that, more time, it's probably much better.
And what about the apex? Are you gonna-
This one right here, I can.
No, the extension of the main trunk.
This one?
The old
Oh, this
apex.
one? Oh, the old one? I will remove that.
Yeah, you're gonna take that.
Yeah, take that out like that.
Are you going to do that today, or are you going to wait?
Today.
Okay.
I don't want to do it, but if you want, I do. We try to something is simple, how to bend a small tree. We do this one is just example how to want to move is this way, this angle here, right here, because from here to straight. So I will one more down here. So later on you have 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. You can adjust a little bit by different angle. So they left, right, front, high, lower. The reason I just temporarily do this one to show them to how to move the little bit on the left. For example, I move this one a little bit this way. I already tell you, I do a little bit. As you can see, they're moving. So I can do this way a little bit, they move this way. See? So I will angle this one more here to tighten. Because we don't have, after that, we don't have to do by hand anymore. We do the zip tie to control left, right, high, low. Much easier. So I do one more time. I want this one to go down a little bit. A little bit difficult because the container is not strong enough to hold the whole tree and to angle at different. Or the tree a little bit bigger, you can do double zip tie. Or the stronger zip tie to pull them down. Okay, I try to load them down, but we don't do the hand anymore, but I do the zip tie to tie them down.
Tom?
Yes.
What do you use if you're not using a grower pot to put the zip ties in? How do you hold them into the pot?
For example, is this guy, the pot is they're not strong enough to hold the angle of the tree. Because, like I said, we put on the container easy for me. I just put the screw around or 2x4 or 1x1 or 2x4, so we can tie every different angle. But this one here, small tree, so we can do the container to tie them down different angle. This one, I just show you the technique how to bend left, right, front, rear, lower, higher. So I do one more time from here to here, so I can move the iPad this way.
Before you had zip ties, would you have wired that whole branch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Later on, I remove all of this one and I wire the small one and they will come out with a small tree.
Now these zip ties, do they hold up to the sun? They don't deteriorate?
For this kind of tree, easily for 6 months a year, easily.
And that's long enough?
Oh, that long, for a small one. For big one, like that, usually I do the copper or aluminum.
Okay.
Okay, I want to move the iPad for more this way. We just tighten it down. See? It's okay. So, after I cut a little bit, so later on I can do this one, still have the point full left, right? But I clean them a little bit. Okay, when I bend, after I bend it, you see the curve right here, they have brand. So now I remove it because we don't need a brand right here. We don't need a brand right here. Small to here. So now you can wire the branch. Then after you I wire the branch, then we still can move left, right, front, high, lower by zip tie. But let I wire the brand, see what happens. The tree, maybe they come out okay, but sometimes not because it's just example to show how the technique is done.
Would you normally repot it after all this work, or?
Usually, after I made that, take the early one I can do about a year later. Yeah. Because after we made it, they have a lot of stretch, a lot of remove, we let it go.
So normally, would you plant a shrub like that in a wooden box and let it?
Yeah, all the, like you said, all the trading, the best is on the one box, the best.
And how long between when you would plant from a plastic container like that to a wooden box before you would do your bending? A year maybe, or?
A year. Usually I do the wood box about 3-4 years before they tear down.
Do you have to do any kind of major wrapping and bending again after this initial? So like you're waiting a year after this and going to do the repotting. Is that enough time for it to really hold that bend, or do you have to go through and redo it?
For this tree, yes, 1 year they can hold. For bigger one, no, 2 years. For big one, 2 years.
Okay.
Depends on how big they are.
That's still pretty fast.
If you were not doing the demo, would you be doing all the wiring at this time, or would you have waited?
About 6 months later.
Okay.
Depends on how they grow the tree. Some of them longer, but about 6 months.
Tom, how long have you been doing this technique?
I can say that.
How long have you been doing this technique?
I do this one about 20 years.
20 years?
20 years.
Okay. Because years ago, we would take a stick in the ground,
Yeah.
like your trees are.
That too.
We would twist the tree around the stick.
Yes.
And this is a technique where the tree was just growing and you have to reverse back to where you wanted to do it.
The old technique is very good, very simple, and the tree movement. But the only problem, most of the trees they do the same direction, and very much a lot of trees the same movement. So if you have 3, 4 like that, a little bit boring. But if you want to, sometimes first branch to the left, sometimes to the right, sometimes higher, lower. They all different. It look better. Before I see a lot of people put a stick and they turn it around for right side. Most of them for right side, but very much the tree is same. Very much the tree is same. That technique is, to me, still very good. Still very good, but I don't use it.
Hi, Tom. After this initial design and how you're gonna set it, how often do you do maintenance or continue to bend it, or how long do you leave it to see how you're gonna end it today?
For the tree like that, we look at every day. We want to adjust it. I can take it down a little bit, left, right, or I can move this one. Because for one time you design the tree, it look good. But for the next few days or next few weeks, oh no, I need to make this one. So you still can fold up. That's why I leave this one off. Or you can write to this one. Because the tree, we always can be adjustment by whatever you want.
Tom, I had a question about the misting that you were doing. Did you say you did the misting before you started this bending, or will you do the misting now that you've done?
You better do both. Before you do it, make it sharper. After you do it, even they crack it, but they keep the moisture, the brand still survive. And because after we bend it, a lot of stress. So if you keep mixing and see between the branch here, they open, right? So the water still go to the paper, so they keep moisture inside for about a month, and you remove them out.
And then are you using just a spray bottle, or do you have a misting machine?
Depend on what you have. In my house, I have the greenhouse, I mix in every 2-3 hours. Depend on the weather. Basically, we design the trees like that, basically, for short now. But in the future, you can wide higher, lower, trim more, and cut shorter. Or you can tie this one down to make this one off, because this one, when I take down, they already take this one. But definitely, yes, you can turn them down. Let's see. Okay, anyone have any question for short hour?
Tom, when you're done with doing what you did, what's the ideal place to put them? Is it in a greenhouse or just somewhere cool in your house? Where do you put them?
Put in the greenhouse or under the shade with a little mist or little white.
Do you want any sunlight at all, or?
You can sunlight in the morning, yes, or 50% with the sun close. Should be good because they still can grow. Anyone have any question after we just demo this first simple this one? So you can tie anything down, little more, whatever. It's the tree more twist. But you can tell this one, the more I tie, the more the plastic cannot handle.
Yeah.
But very much the best we can for the tree. Everybody can have different idea how to grow the tree, how to put on the product or your.
Tom, when you did the initial, I think you put in 3 wires that you could put down to the ground for the first braids before you did it. Did you put those all the way around? Did you put them close together?
We put it together.
And then twist them in the same direction, but you did them one at a time.
Yes.
Okay.
The way we do like that, we can control the brand with the sunlight they go in. But before like that, the low brand they don't have the sunlight.
Right.
The bigger one like this one they have the sunlight. So this one they have the sunlight. So we control like that. Is in the future the low brand will be is bigger than the top. Other than that, if you don't control with the same sunlight and the air go through, it's always the top one is have the bigger branch. Because we try to make the triangle like that. The reason we make this one because first they look good. Second, the sun can go through every single branch to make the tree more healthier and look better.
Tom, if you don't have the tool that you created to bend the tree, what's a good way to do it without the tool?
Yeah, you need to like strong man, handsome guy like that. But this is a very simple way to do it. You can do one by one slower. Make sure you tie it down, everything. Before you do anything, make sure man have to tie the tree with the container together. When the more together, they have more angle to bend different direction. At my home, I bend a lot bigger than this, a lot bigger. But I zoomed by that kind of wrench. But this one is small, it's simple, because we have short time with a small tree. So by this kind of technique, we can bend not even the tree, the branch. You can do the same way. You can do the branch low, down, higher. You can do a lot of things on the zip tie. Zip tie is useful tools and cheap and easy. You know, easy because you can zip them down and zip them up. If you don't like it, just cut and put another one. Very simple. We try to say with the easy technique, the cheaper, easy way to do it. That's how we say the technique.
Have you ever done one where you used to like actually make a cut in the branch if you wanted to bend it? You know,
I see a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
I used to do that.
Yeah.
But for depend on what kind of tree, like ficus, yes, you can do that. But pine, yes, sometimes you can do that. But juniper, no. A lot of trees, they cannot live, stick together and they go like normal. They have to seal them. But the pine, yes, you can do that. Or the ficus, yes, you can do that. But some like the big dead tree, like that brand, no, you cannot do that. But a lot of people, they do cut this one to make them weaker and bend them down. Yes, that's one of the good technique too. Yeah. But after that, after you remove everything, you still see the narrow, that's why it's small. Scar. But the way we bend it, sometimes they crack, but look more natural. Or the survival of the brand is much higher because they still can have the moisture and everything we tie together. So this is the tie now, it's good.
Is there a time of year where you wouldn't do this, or a better time?
You can do from now until May, you know, but summer I recommend now. On the winter now, because the winter, the tree, the getting down, it not much energy inside. But the reason we do early right now, because they have a lot of moisture, raining, and even the band, they still shoot out strongly, because they're going, starting from early spring, so the tree is always stronger. If you do early on the winter, the tree is not going, so some of them, they crack it, they go down. I recommend the best way is spring or early spring.